You're doing this work because you care. You're a coach, and what you do actually changes people's lives. You know you have a message to share, but the content you're putting out there is bland. It's boring, and it's definitely not attracting clients. I recently gave this talk at a private event full of kick-ass coaches, consultants, speakers, and leaders from 5 different countries. It's called The Boldest Thing: How to Attract Dream Clients, Rewrite Your Story, Beat the Robots, and Secure Your Future. Now, I didn't intend to share this publicly originally, but so many of the people in the room told me that it was incredibly helpful, so I'm deciding to share it with you. Enjoy. All right, so we're going to transition a little bit into something that I'm really, genuinely excited to share with you. And I'm calling it The Boldest Thing, or How to Attract Dream Clients, Rewrite Your Destiny, Beat the Robots, and Secure Your Future. And what I'm going to share with you today is going to help you generate messages like this. I've been following you on LinkedIn, and your authenticity and straightforward approach really resonates with me. I would love to connect and learn more about your programs, explore whether there would be a good fit for my next chapter. I got this message 6 days ago. Also, what I'm going to share with you is going to allow you to rewrite your destiny, should you choose so. It's also going to allow you to beat the bots and secure your future. It's so powerful that what I'm about to share with you builds nations. It defines cultures. It creates beliefs, and it dictates behavior. This is my grandmother, Florence. I had the absolute pleasure of spending a few days with her a couple months ago, and she has seen a lot. She's 90 years old. She was one of 14 children, and 9 of her siblings are no longer here. One died at a young age. One was murdered by a boyfriend. She was made homeless twice by house fires. She has buried 3 of her own children, and she has outlived 2 husbands. She's seen some shit. And she's been given plenty of reasons to be jaded or maybe be bitter or just not be the wonderful, warm human that she is. But she's chosen not to be that way. And Florence got me thinking about things I've said to myself and believed in the past, and things I believe to be true. Including my first career when I was a DJ and music producer. And I spent so much time in that world that I believe that this is all that I could do. That first picture's in the 90s, that last picture's in 2012. It's who I was, it's where I made friends, it's where I created my entire identity. And also that identity was so deeply rooted because I got to a place where I was getting paid to travel. I was getting paid really good money. I was playing in front of crowds. It was who I was. How could I change that? I also had a belief for a long time that I was physically weak and believed that I was not strong, that I was scrawny, all sorts of other things. And I'm happy to say now, definitely in parts thanks to Ryan here at the front, that I have never felt this strong. I've never weighed this much, and it's in places I want the weight. And there's a couple times a week where I walk by the mirror, I'm like, who? I'm like, oh yeah, that's me. There's a long time where I believed the story that I couldn't stop drinking. Both of my grandparents were alcoholics. My dad's a very functional alcoholic. I grew up in small towns where, of course, you drink every weekend. You drink till you black out. The lifestyle that I had in the nightclubs and in the party scene is drinking and drugs, pervasive, of course. I believed that I couldn't stop drinking. I am coming up on my 12th year anniversary of not having a single drink. And then I had this belief that I can't get a 6-figure job without a college or university degree. Of course not. Only smart people get jobs like that. So that's not something that's possible for me. Well, what's funny about that is that when I bucked that trend and I got that job, I thought, well, I should just be grateful for this well-paying job. I'm a director. I've got a 6-figure salary. I used to believe that there's no way that I could do it. And then I got trapped in a story and a belief that like, well, I should just be grateful for that. Even though when I paused and took a moment, this is on vacation. And you can't see the pictures, but dark, I'm fucking miserable. The weight on my shoulders there, and Melissa took this video of me. It's like, hey, what's going on? Because I had stopped checking my work phone. I had stopped checking my work email. I had unplugged for a week. And the weight of, I should be doing something else. But I couldn't. I believe that, I won't be able to do better on my own. So that was a story and a belief I carried for a while. And the last one is that I can't make good money and do work with meaning, which is obviously not true. These were just stories that I was telling myself. And the stories that you tell yourself shape your life. And it's really interesting to think about that in this room, there's people here from 5 different countries, and think about the stories that exist around that. What does it mean to be a Canadian? If you think of someone from Canada, what are some of the stereotypes? What are some of the stories we say about Canadians? Right? I'm hearing polite, so sorry. But if you think about this, we're not going to go through every one of those, but like, what does it mean to be an American? What are the stories? What does it mean to be British? What does it mean to be German? What does it mean to be Spanish? And there's stories around all of these. Or what does it mean to be from the city versus from the countryside? What are the stories there? What beliefs do those stories create? Or, I'm a Leo, I'm a Sagittarius, I'm a Taurus. Of course I'm in that way. Stories, beliefs. And look, it's fun. I love reading the horoscope and like, hey, yeah, that's me. But what about when you go to the shitty list of like, is likely to, struggles with? Do you need to embody and carry and believe that story for the rest of your life because you happen to be born on a particular day? It's worth considering. Which brings us back to Florence. So one of the reasons I went to go visit her, and Melissa came with me, we went to go visit her, is she had just gotten out of the hospital. She had really bad pneumonia. She was hospitalized. And the doctor said to her, you're probably not going to make it. And what she told us is she said, no fucking way. He doesn't know that I'm a Crowley. That's her maiden name. And the stories that she believes, that she embraces as being a Crowley, is that you are resilient. You are tough. So the stories that you believe and the stories that you share with others, they define you, they define your beliefs and your actions that you take. And this creates your reality. So my goal with this session, we're like, wow, Rob, we're 10 minutes in, you're going to share the point of it now? Yes, we're going to get into it. Now I'm going to tell you what we're getting to. I want to challenge you to rethink the stories you've been telling yourself, if that's not obvious so far. I want to make a case for you to start sharing your story more fully, more broadly, more intentionally. And then I'm going to give you 7 practical prompts that you can use today to start sharing your stories that will, ready? Generate messages like this, allow you to beat the robots, and secure your future. How does that sound? So as far as the first one, challenge you to rethink the stories you've been telling yourself. Look, I think I've done a good job at making that case already for you to review, to challenge, to consider rewriting your fucking stories. Yes, I see some nods. Yes. Yeah. We're going to spend some time on that this afternoon, exploring your stories, the stories that you tell yourself. We're going to go do a deep dive on that later. And assuming that you do identify some stories that you would like to rewrite, well, how the hell do you do that? There's lots of things out there: journaling, therapy, coaching, hypnotherapy, breathwork, meditation, psychedelics. I've done all of those things. And they work. They work great. They've been extremely helpful. I wouldn't be here now if it wasn't for those things. And the things that have allowed me to make the biggest leaps have been finding mentors who challenge the old stories that I have and invite me to see a new one. Second, finding communities with the people who are living the new story that I want to embrace, and they normalize that story. They're living it. And the combination of those things provides an environment where I am able to stack intentional reps time and time again, that those become proof, irrefutable proof.
All right, so that is the first one, inviting you to challenge your stories. The second piece was to making a case for you to share your stories more fully and more broadly and more intentionally. Because when I think about this room, coaches, mentors, healers, leaders, you're doing work that has real meaning. The work you do makes a fucking difference. It actually changes people's lives. And you sharing your message fully is reducing suffering. Your willingness to show up and fully share your story and share your message, you can reduce the suffering of other people. It's not true for every room, but it is true for this room. And I know many of you personally, and those who I didn't know personally before yesterday, I've spoken with you, and it is true for you. But so many of you are flat Fred. Flat Fred is two-dimensional at best. Flat Fred is trying to blend in. Flat Fred never says anything that could potentially offend someone. Flat Fred never says anything that someone else might disagree with. Flat Fred is playing it safe. And I know this for many of you in the room because the connection activity I did yesterday, the bingo activity, for some of you to find something to put on that sheet, even though you're posting all the time, hard. Just like every other account out there. Nothing unique. Hard to see. Had to go dig and dig and dig. If you are avoiding rejection, you are avoiding attraction. If you're doing things to ensure that you cannot be rejected by people, you are ensuring that you will not attract anyone. You fully putting yourself out there will push some people away. And that is the price of attracting the most incredible, holy shit, I can't believe that I get to work with this kind of person. And there was one thing that was said repeatedly in here yesterday and in the lounge and at dinner, and that was talking about how fucking awesome you all are, about the quality of the people in the room. The people in this room are what? What are some of the things that you would say? What would be some adjectives you'd say about the people that are in this room right now? Brilliant, adventurous, kind, adventurous, powerful, vulnerable, supportive, inspiring, invigorating, right? We could keep going. Hot! Hey! And hot! Ah, thank you. The coolest thing about this is almost every person in here is that we first met online. And they first met me through my content. For many of you, the first time we met is through my content. And then we built a real relationship afterwards. That doesn't happen by accident. And that cannot happen if you're a flat Fred. Like, you don't need to show up as me. You are not me. You look different than me. You have a different background than me. But you want to, and I encourage you to find what is you. That's going to attract the kind of people when you see them in your calendar, you go, ah, oh, yes, I can't wait to speak with Tina, Simone, Jody, Lisa, Wen, Ryan. And like you want to be excited about those people. And it starts with your willingness to pull out a full and genuine message in the world. Does anyone not know who this guy is? All right, there's a couple hands up. The synopsis is, his name is Gary V. He's made a lot of noise online for probably coming close on 20 years. As far as show up, put a message out. Show up, use the tools. Show up and put your stuff out there. And I think we're kind of at an end of an era here. There's a moment. This is a funny way to... This is a meme. I'm heading to work because I was too shy to dance on TikTok in 2020. Every one of those pictures is a remix of that meme, and it's a meme I saw a few weeks ago. And it's kind of the current version of if you were to listen to what Gary Vee's been saying forever. Now, maybe you want to dance on TikTok? I'm going to guess most of you don't. But what is your version of dancing on TikTok? What is your version of putting yourself out there? And implore you now, because while it's something that he's been talking about for 2 decades, the sun is setting. The sun is setting. What do I mean? I got an email last month, or maybe it was 2 months ago now, and it said like, hey, we do this thing, we replicate you, and then you can just make endless videos of yourself. If you don't believe that it's good, click this link. There's 20 videos, and let us know which one is real. There was one real video and the rest were fake. I couldn't tell the difference. Indistinguishable. If you go on YouTube, there's tons of videos like this. Like, here's how you create a realistic avatar of yourself. Here's how you replicate yourself. This is not me. This is generated. The audio was a little off, the voice wasn't quite there, but the speed in which things are moving, it's only a matter of time. And then what's happened in the most recent weeks, does anyone not know what Sora is? Does anyone not know what Sora is? So it's the hottest app out there right now, and you go in and you type Tupac Shakur hanging out with Mr. Rogers. And it creates video, and you can't tell that they're actually not hanging out. I had to watch this twice, like, did he meet him? I was like, what? And I was trying to think, like, were they alive this? No, it's fake. It's not real.
Right now is where I'm learning that that wasn't a real video.
Okay, for those who didn't hear Tony, he said, right now is when I'm learning that's not a real video. So, your real stories make you relatable. They make you human. And if I had a crystal ball, and if I were to say like some predictions I might have about the future, is that soon there's going to be a demand from the market that things are labeled just like organic fruit is labeled, where people are going to want to know. And Tina's saying some countries already have it. So that this is where things are going if you haven't thought about it yet.
Europe does. I think Europe requires it.
Okay, Europe requires it because it is hard to know if something is real or fake. That's where we are. This is not a future. This is not 10, this is now. And I think Kyler shared yesterday was that this week is the first week in history that more AI-generated content was published than human-generated content. By a large margin. And Casey Nassad, who's a YouTuber who's super creative and interesting, he published a video last week, and in it, he believes that the future of Netflix is like this Sora app, where you're going to log into Netflix, and you're going to say, Jason Bourne goes for brunch and goes to the beach or whatever, and then kills an assassin, and then you're going to get to watch the version of the movie, the prompt that you put in. Yeah, like, and Tony, the other Tony just made a joke, like, wait 2 weeks, Tony Estevez, because that's the speed in which things are moving. And those who are already sharing their story, those of you who already have a story out there and you're publishing and showing up, you have a massive advantage. If you think it's noisy now, woo, wait 6 more months before taking this seriously and see how much harder it gets. And if you're already showing up, and if you're already sharing, if you're already putting these things out into the world, and you're thinking, you know, I'm thinking about a newsletter, or maybe I'm going to start showing up on YouTube, or there's some other like next level to it, and you've been hesitating on, or judge. Now, I wouldn't wait. I really wouldn't wait. And this is funny for me because I am hopelessly optimistic. I smile so much that if I get on a Zoom call and I'm not smiling, so like people say, like, are you okay? Like I am very much, I find the upside in every situation. So this is weird for me to sit here and be like, am I trying to scare you? I'm just trying to wake you up. Because the world is a better place if the people in this room are showing up honestly, you're sharing fully, and you're putting your fucking message out there. And if you've been thinking about it, you've been watching it, for some of us, it's been happening for so long, like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, you feel like, oh, of course, it's just an opportunity. And if I didn't do it this quarter, I'll do it next. And if I don't do it this year, there's no next year at this point with this. It's just going to get harder. And if you show up, if you share your message online, you're going to help people. You're going to reduce suffering. You're going to make everything easier. Which takes us to the part where I said, I'm going to give you 7 practical prompts that you can use today in your stories. that will, ready for it, help you generate messages like this: beat the robots and secure your future.
People paid hundreds of dollars to be at that event. And if you want the 7 practical prompts I shared with them, you can get them below for just $7. These are 7 practical story prompts that you can start using right now to start attracting dream clients, beat the robots, and secure your future.